Hi everyone, today I would like to talk about how working with your children is going to impact your twin flame healing journey. So if you have children or child with a partner before you met your twin flame, or if you have children or child with your twin flame before you were awakened to the connection, to the fact that you are actually twin flames. So interacting and doing the healing work with these children is going to be exactly like working with your counterpart, with your twin flame, because they have many aspects of you and they also carry the same wounds as you, just like your twin flame. And so anything that you are balancing, harmonizing, any healings that you are going through with your children is the same as going through with your counterpart. So you are basically practicing, and then is your training ground with your children, right? So the way it's going to show up is that your child is going to have emotional behaviors. They're going to get sick. They're going to have physical symptoms, and it's not going to go away. And it's going, or if it goes away, it's going to come back. So it's not being resolved with also the, going to the doctors, taking medicine and all of that. So it's really a clear indication that there is something for you to look at that you are not aware of, right? So then when this happens, you want to look into your environment and see where a similar situation is being played out in your environment in some aspects, the way you're interacting with someone, or there's a situation being played out that you are not aware of, and now you can, because this is being played out in your child's environment. Now if it's not something that is being played out in your environment, it is happening for you to be aware that there are limiting beliefs attached to these very specific situations that are now being activated within you, and so you are now guided to tap into the healing to find out what are these limiting beliefs, and so how you created them and how you can now transmute them, right? So once you have gone through the healing of finding out what limiting belief is the situation that is happening with your child, revealing about yourself that you have, and so you can tap into the healing process. And once you've done that, you are going to hold the healed frequency within. So then the way you are going now to interact and deal with the situation in your child's environment is going to then allow your child to access this healing for themselves. And so both of you are now letting go and transmuting this same limiting belief that you both agreed to work on, right? So once you've gone through the healing, you will see the change in your child's environment is going to be instantaneous, right? If within a few hours, few days, the shift happens, it gets resolved. And so that's when they are quite young, and so in a way that they are living out and experiencing the limiting belief physically, and so they are going through the the discomfort of a physical pain or the situation that they are experiencing. But then you, as the adult, you have the active role of going through the healing, right? And so then make it accessible for your child. So that is the way you are playing out this dynamic. Now when they are a bit older, in their teenage years and young adults and adults, they might want to access the healing themselves. So you might be both doing actively the healing process to tap into the wound and find out what the limiting belief is, and then transmute it like that. And so both of you are participating in the healing actively, and then it gets resolved, right? Now, in the case where there's something happening with your child and they don't want to deal with it, right? So for them, they're just gonna let it play out, and so you are going to tap into your healing and to see what is there for you to see, and what is the limiting belief and all of that. And still it doesn't shift in their environment, and they're still going through some discomfort or challenge or pain. And so now the next step of your own healing and the way you are navigating this with your child is to not interfere, right? So it is really learning, is breaking down this old paradigm of parenting. So the old paradigm of parenting is to think that as parents we know better, that we are here to teach our children, that we have the solutions for them and we know what's best for them. Now, and we are telling them what to do, how to do it, and but we are not necessarily aligning with these energies within ourselves, like meaning that we might tell them to do certain things, but then we don't live by it. We are not the very embodiment of these ideas or beliefs, right? So we might have there might be a dissonance between what we say or what we do and what we really feel within, or what they feel that we have within us, right? On an energetic level. So now the new way is obviously going to be different of at that level of parenting. So it's obviously we always have to make sure that they have a safe environment as much as we can, and also to provide structure and a set of rules that are working within the construct of the human design, meaning that even if you have the soul perspective, you need to make sure that they understand how to live with the human ways on this physical planet, right? So you to have the soul perspective, but to also respect and to play by the structures and the rules of the human ways, right? So that's very important, not to get just to have the soul perspective, because then you can't live in this world. So to balance that is on the practical level. Now, from what you are passing on to your child is really to develop their the inner guidance. So in the case where I was saying, when they don't want to access their own healing and they know they can, but they are not willing to, and you know already what it is, and you know also what could be the solution because you have already gone through the healing, but you are guided not to interfere because they don't want to they don't want to deal with it. And so in the old ways you could force it, you could impose it on them, right, and blackmail them, and emotionally, or in your physical reality, and to force them to accept what you think is best for them. Now that is the old ways. Now the new ways that you are asked to do is, you are aware that there could be a solution, that there is maybe a way for them to overcome this challenge, but you are asked not to interfere and not to do it for them, and to allow them to do that on their own timing, right? So it's stepping back, pulling back, and being on the sideline, but from a very supportive energy, not projecting your doubts, your fears, your insecurities, and thinking that they are not listening to you, they should listen to you, or all of that. It's really the opposite. So to really hold and embody the trusting, the inner knowing that what is happening with them is what is supposed to happen with them and is the best for them. And when you do that from that kind of energy, you are actually helping them. I know you won't feel like it. You will feel like you're not doing anything, but you are actually helping them. You are basically saying to them, I am there if you need me, but I respect your decision because I know that you have all the resources within you. And I know you are able to find your own inner guidance. And I know that you will remember who you really are, that you are a sovereign being, that you have intuition, that you have tools and resources within you that you need to discover, remember for yourself. And you don't need me to interfere and to tell you how to do it, but by just embodying this very supportive energy of inner knowing and inner trusting, you are actually helping them the most, because you are energetically saying, I know that you can do it, basically. So, and you don't need to say those words. You don't need to do anything except stepping back and hold that energy, right? And they are going to feed off that energy. And it doesn't have to be right away that you are implementing it. It can be any time, in months, in a few years, but it is for you to always hold that energy for them so they can access it whenever they need it, right? And so this is learning the new way of parenting, right? And so that's what you're going to be implementing while you are working with your children at different age and at with different interactions and a different level of healing on your journey. But ultimately, even at a very young age, is really to make sure that you have taken all the best measure possible that you have at hand, but also to always guide them, or providing a platform, a space where they can learn how to make decisions for themselves, right? So it's really shifting from a place where you want to decide for them as a parent, which feels the natural thing to do because that's the way we learn from our parents. But now we are learning how to actually propose to them different ways and guide them and allow them to maybe perceive and learn how to make decisions and then understand the consequences of the decisions, but from their doing and their initiative. And you are just being this very supportive energy of obviously always knowing that you are providing the safest environment and they are not in danger in any kind, right? So it's going to feel really counterproductive and counterintuitive the way you are going to implement this, and sometimes you're going to get lost because depending on the pattern and on the dynamic that you're specifically working with your child or your children, you are going to get really confused. Okay, am I supposed to put more boundaries, or am I too relaxed, or is it now I need to say something about it, or am I supposed to step back? It can be really confusing, and you are going to learn how to recalibrate and adapt to each other. And it's like a dance, you know, you are going to move around as it comes, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Well, they're not really mistakes, but you know, it's a learning process. And so Similarly, on your twin flame journey, that's exactly what you're doing for your counterpart. So if you're the feminine, for your masculine, where you are focusing on your own healing journey. And so you keep holding and having this inner balanced and trusting and inner knowing energy within. And so you are laying out a very supportive energy from a very balanced place, where then your counterpart is able to thrive and to remember who he really is.